Today I want to take a look at PowerShell PnP and how we can disable modern comments. Here we're looking at a standard modern team site in SharePoint Online, and we'll come over to our pages library, and we have page 1 and a couple of other test pages already created. Now on the modern page layout, you're going to see two sections at the bottom. One is you might be interested in, and the other section is comments. Now, when you're creating a page, both of these will be activated and turned on by default. But maybe we don't want that. Maybe we're publishing content, we want it to be more curated. We don't really want end user commentary or kind of ad hoc content edited. We want it to be more tightly controlled and moderated. And in those cases, we may want to look at disabling this feature and doing that for the entire site library. So let's say you have pages, in this case we have multiple, and setting it by hand may simply be too much effort. We can use PowerShell PnP to apply those changes for us, and you don't have to be an admin. You don't have to have special permissions for doing these. You can actually activate this easily. So we first want to make a connection to PnP and make sure that we have a connection established by echoing back PnP web. We'll go ahead and echo this particular script. There we are. Comes back with the title of the site, the URL of the site, and a GUID of the site, which indicates a successful connection. With that in place, we want to go ahead and get the specific library that we're working on. So here we'll say get site pages. There's our library name, and we're going to use the get PnP list item. And we're going to use the get PnP list items. Let me bring that over for us. Yes, so $pages is get PnP list item. And we want to filter it for the list name, where the library name is site pages. And we also want to add a where clause to only get the ones where file system object type equals file. And this is going to skip any folders just to make sure we're only dealing with files. So there we have our connection, and we'll take this page's result and we'll send it to format table auto just as a way of seeing the results come back. So here we have home, page 1, page 1, page 1. Those were copies, so the name is repeated, but we are successfully getting back our collection of all the pages on the site. Good news. Okay, so here we want to loop through each page and disable comments. And for that, we're going to look at it. This is really interesting because we're getting Copilot suggestions. So set PnP list item. That's actually not the method for doing it. There's a different command. So we're going to go ahead and put this together ourselves. For each page and pages, that's fine. And we can get the page, but we want a different way of indexing. We want to index into the file leaf ref. That's the attribute that we're looking for, file leaf ref. That's really the name of the particular page. And just to kind of bring this in one step at a time, we'll go ahead and execute that way. And you can see this is the file leaf ref, which is the new property that we're reading inside of our loop. And that's what we need to execute the set PnP page command. So here's set PnP page. We can provide the identity of the file leaf ref. We can say comments enabled false. That's where we want to be. That's the final command to go ahead and disable comments. So here we are processing each page, and it goes a little slower, and it echoes back more output because the set command is returning a result. So one thing you can do with stuff like that is go ahead and save the result of the command just to clean the display a little bit, because the set PnP command is what's making this large result. It's actually returning the page object. So if we clear and execute that again, now it's coming back in a little bit cleaner fashion. So we're getting this based on the file leaf ref, but we're not getting the result enumeration with all the properties. And you can even dress that up a little bit more and do something like disabling comments for, and then maybe put some color to it. We can execute the same command again. And now it stands out visually because we're using a yellow foreground color. So foreground color yellow, disabling comments, and the result here is being received on each change so that we don't have a very long output on our screen. Now this is something that anyone can run. You can be a site owner. You don't have to have admin rights on the PC. You do not have to have admin rights on the tenant. PowerShell PnP is something that advanced users can execute. It doesn't have to be administrators only. Now if we come back to our site to verify our configuration, we'll pick up one of our pages, and you'll notice that it's a lot more simple. We don't have the comments. We don't have all of these extra features at the bottom. Those have now been turned off, which I think is really cool. And it goes to more of a moderated content display where the content is very tightly controlled. It's something that is being developed centrally. And yeah, the comments have been disabled for each one of these pages. Now, as you're publishing pages in the browser, you do have some options for promoting, advertising the content, Viva, email, post as a news item, add to the navigation bar. A lot of really cool stuff you can do after hitting the publish button, but I always like to come in there and verify it just to make sure that things were saving. But that is how we can use PowerShell PnP to disable comments for all pages in our site. Thanks for watching.